Tingles with flyby. Hello, my tinglelings, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you all, if you are choosing to drink today, are drinking very responsibly and not going to get yourselves into any trouble. That being said, I thought that today it would be fun to talk about some Irish drinks. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drinks that we'll be talking about that are either famous for being from Ireland or very popular in Ireland itself. So let's go ahead, and I have lots of facts about them. So, a bit of a fact video. I had contemplated getting a bit of each of these, but one of them was expensive and like $40 for just the one, and I was like, maybe not. So, if you would be interested in watching me do some alcohol tasting, particularly on alcohol I normally don't drink, let me know down in the comments and send me a donation so I can afford to buy some alcohol. I jest, but I also don't jest because these things do cost money. But anyway, the first drink that discuss is, something that Ireland is so well known for, and the most popular drink in Ireland, and that's Guinness. It is an Irish dry stout that originated in a brewery of Arthur Guinness, who lived from 1725 to 1803, and it originated at St. James Gate Brewery, in the capital of Dublin, Ireland. It is one of the most successful beer brands worldwide. It's brewed in almost 50 countries and is available in over 120 countries. The annual sales of Guinness in 2011 was 850 million liters, which is 220 million US gallons. So that's a lot of Guinness. Guinness is very popular with Irish, both in Ireland and abroad. It is the best-selling alcoholic drink in Ireland, where the Guinness & Co. brewery makes almost 2 billion euros worth of the beverage annually. So that's a lot of Guinness, and a lot of money on Guinness. The history of Guinness goes back to Arthur Guinness. He started brewing ales in 1759 at the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin. On the 31st of December 1759, he signed a 9,000-year lease at £45 per annum for the unused brewery. 10 years later, on the 19th of May, 1769, Guinness first exported his ale. He shipped 6.5 barrels to Great Britain. Another interesting fact about Guinness, don't know why I had a T on the end there, is that the brewery hired the statistician William Silly Gossett in 1899, who achieved lasting fame under the pseudonym Student for techniques developed for Guinness, particularly for any statisticians out there, Student's tea distribution and the even more commonly known Student's tea test, which is a very important test in statistics, but it was developed for Guinness. Guinness Stout is made from water, barley, roast malt extract, hops, and brewer's yeast. A portion of the barley is roasted to give Guinness its dark color and characteristic taste. It is also pasteurized and filtered. Until the late 1950s, Guinness was racked into wooden casks. Then, in the 1950s and 60s, Guinness ceased brewing cask-conditioned beers and developed a keg brewing system with aluminum kegs replacing wooden casks, and these kegs were nicknamed iron lungs. The biggest change to date in 1959, Guinness began using nitrogen in its stout, which changed the fundamental texture and flavor of the Guinness of the past, as nitrogen bubbles are much smaller than CO2, which gives it a creamier and smoother consistency over the sharper and more traditional CO2 taste. This step was taken after Michael Ash, again a mathematician turned brewer, discovered the mechanism to make this possible. Nitrogen is less soluble than carbon dioxide, which allows the beer to be put under high pressure without making it fizzy. High pressure of the dissolved gas is required to enable very small bubbles to be formed by forcing the draft beer through fine holes in a plate in the tap, which causes the characteristic surge. The widget in cans and bottles achieves the same effect. This widget is a small plastic ball containing the nitrogen. The perceived smoothness of draft Guinness is due to its low level of carbon dioxide and the creaminess of the head caused by the very fine bubbles that arise from the use of nitrogen and the dispensing method described above. Foreign extra stout contains more carbon dioxide, causing a more acidic taste. And our final fact is that although Guinness may appear black, it is officially a very, very dark shade of ruby red. Now on to our next alcoholic beverage, which is another name synonymous with Ireland, and that is Jameson. The John Jameson and Son Irish Whiskey Company was formally established in 1810 when John Jameson and his son, also named John Jameson, took ownership of the Bow Street Distillery in Dublin, which had originally been built by his wife's cousin, the Steins, in 1780. Jameson was a Scottish lawyer from Alloa in Clackmannanshire, who married Margaret Haig, a sister of the Haig brothers who owned the Haig distilleries. Margaret Haig was a first cousin of the Steins, a Scottish distilling family, also from Clackmannanshire, with significant distilling interests in Scotland and Dublin. On his marriage to Margaret Haig in 1786, John Jameson moved with his new wife to Dublin to manage the Steve Stein's Bow Street distillery, which had been established in 1780, which is why you'll see the year 1780 listed on Jameson. Portraits of John and Margaret Jameson by Sir Henry Raeburn are in the collection of the National Gallery of Ireland. Jameson was originally one of the 6 main Dublin whiskies, and it's actually now distilled in Cork, which is not in Dublin. In 2013, annual sales topped 4.7 million cases, which was 56.4 million bottles. Jameson is by far the best-selling Irish whiskey in the world, as it has been sold internationally since the early 19th century. The United States is the largest market for Jameson whiskey, with consumption during 2013 up by 12%. Jameson is produced from a blend of grain whiskey and single pot still whiskey, which uses a mixture of malted and unmalted or green Irish barley, all sourced from within a 50-mile radius around the distillery in Cork. The barley is dried in a close kiln fired by natural glass. Formerly, it was done by anthracite coal. This method is in contrast to the traditional method used in some Scotch whiskey distilleries, which fire the kiln with peat, which adds a distinct peat flavor. So Jameson lacks that. Now there are a lot of different types of Jameson that have been made. I won't go through all of these because there's about 20 here, but we have Jameson 12-year-old Special Reserve, Jameson Black Barrel, Jameson Cask Mix Stout Edition, Jameson the Cooper's Crows, Jameson Round, Jameson Lively, and so on. So, there's a lot of options for Jameson. We have our third beverage now, and that is a cocktail, which you maybe can guess what it is. It's Irish coffee. Irish coffee is a cocktail which I have never consumed because I don't like coffee. Consisting of hot coffee, Irish whiskey, and sugar. Some recipes specify that brown sugar specifically should be used. It's stirred and then topped with a nice thick cream. And then the coffee is drunk through the cream. The original recipe explicitly uses cream that has not been whipped, but some drinks are made with cream that is whipped and still sold as Irish coffee. Irish coffee is also sometimes used colloquially to refer to any alcoholic coffee drink. So the story behind how Irish coffee was invented is that Joe Sheridan, who was a head chef at the restaurant and coffee shop at Foynes Air Base, at the Flying Boat Terminal Building in County Limerick, in 1942 or 43, there was a group of American passengers who had just come off of a several hours failed flight for an Atlantic crossing, and they had to be grounded due to bad weather on a Pan Am Clipper flying boat. So Sheridan added whiskey to their coffee to give them a bit of warmth as they were drinking. After the passengers asked if they were being served Brazilian coffee, Sheridan told them it's Irish coffee. So the main way you make it, you put black coffee into the mug, whiskey and at least 1 teaspoon of sugar is stirred in until it's nice and fully dissolved. The sugar is absolutely essential for floating the liquid cream on top and not going in. Then thick cream is poured carefully over the back of a spoon, initially held just above the surface of the coffee and gradually raised a little. The layer of cream will float on the coffee without mixing, and then you can drink the coffee through that nice little layer of cream. Interesting little tidbit about Irish coffee is that in 1988, the National Standards Authority of Ireland published Irish Standard IS 417 on Irish coffee, specifying what exactly can be called an Irish coffee. So that's pretty fun. Our final beverage is one I have indulged in, a particular kind at least, and that's Bailey's Irish Cream. This is an Irish whiskey and cream-based liqueur made by Gilbey's of Ireland. It was created by Gilbey's of Ireland, a division of the International Distillers and Vintners, as it searched for something to introduce to the international market. Well, I think they found something. The process of finding a product began in 1971, and Irish cream was introduced in 1974 as the first Irish cream on the market. The original Irish cream is an iconic blend of fresh Irish cream and select Irish whiskey. While there are a myriad of uses for this time-honored liquor, it is best served over ice, where you can fully enjoy the subtlety and gentle flavors that have made it one of the world's favorite drinks. You can also get a lovely salted caramel variety, or caramel if you prefer that pronunciation, but I'm sure none of you do, even though it's a more common pronunciation than caramel. Delight in the luxurious taste of Irish cream and liqueur, artfully blended with the rich caramel and a hint of salt. A breakthrough in drinks alchemy, Bailey's Chocolate Luxe combines real Belgian chocolate, Irish whiskey, and cream for a luxurious, rich, molten chocolate drinking experience. 3 years in the making, Anthony Wilson, son of the creator of Bailey's original Irish cream, traveled over 3 continents to personally taste the world's finest chocolate. He suffered for us all. Over 200 varieties, in fact, for this world-class blend. 800 recipes later, Anthony and his team finally solved the formula for a multi-sensory experience of chocolate in a glass, best served over ice with a raspberry garnish, according to Dan Murphy's. it's actually best served. Get a nice little layer of Bailey's Chocolate Luxe on the bottom. Top it off with some chocolate milk. Whew. I love that. If I had some right now, I would drink it for you. And for me, because it's just delicious. And it just has a little hint of alcohol taste. It's not really very, you will never have really any impact from it, because I'm a total lightweight and I have no impact from it, but it's very yummy, which is the point to me. Anyway, so those are my facts about these 4 Irish drinks. Let me know what if you are drinking today on St. Patrick's Day, what you're drinking. Keen to hear. And if you do have any requests or ideas of drinks that I should try, put them down in the comments. And also check out my PayPal link so I can afford to buy the drinks. Again, I jest, but I also don't. So, no pressure. Anyway, I thank you all my tinglelings for joining me today, and I hope you have a lovely St. Patrick's Day. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, my tinglelings. Thanks for watching this video.